Hi, my name is Jacqueline Gonzalez Gomez, and today I'm going to be teaching a lesson on government. The compelling question is, what would the world be like if we all lived under the same government? Every country has a different type of government. For example, the United States is capitalist or democratic. China is communist. Britain lives under a monarchy. They have a king and a queen. What's some other examples? North Korea has a dictatorship. So there's many different types of government. So in this lesson, we're going to be learning what those governments are and some examples of those types of governments to help us answer today's compelling question. So to start off, let's talk about a dictatorship. So a dictatorship is a type of government run by a dictator, which is a political leader who possesses absolute power. Like I said, for example, in North Korea, Kim Jong-un, he possesses total power in North Korea. He makes the rules. What he says goes. Another example of a government would be a monarchy. A monarchy is a form of government in which a person, the monarch, is the head of state for life, which would be the king or the queen. In this case, like Queen Elizabeth and the royal family in Britain. Another example would be authoritarian, Authoritarian is a form of government characterized by strong central power and limited political freedoms. An example of this would be Venezuela under Hugo Chavez. There's a picture of Hugo Chavez. And totalitarianism, which is a form of authoritarianism, but it is much more stronger. It is worse in a way. It is a type of government that prohibits opposition parties, restricts individual opposition to the state and its claims, and exercises an extremely high degree of control over public and private life. So it is the most extreme form of authoritarianism. An example of totalitarianism would be Joseph Stalin in the Soviet Union. This is Joseph Stalin. Okay, moving on. Another type of government would be an anarchy, basically the government is non-existent. It doesn't mean that the people are totally free to do whatever they want. They still have laws, but they don't really have like a strict government. An example of an anarchy would be Somalia. It just basically means absence of government. Communism is a common type of government. It is a political theory derived from Karl Marx, which advocates class war, leading to a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. An example of a communist government would be China. We all know that. Capitalism is in contrast to communism. It is an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. An example of this would be the U.S. And the U.S. also happens to be democratic, which means basically the power is given to the people. So it is like a government in which supreme power is vested in the people and exercised by them directly or indirectly through a system of representation, usually through election. Basically in our constitution we say we the people because we have the freedom to choose and vote. So this is a democratic. Right now our president is Donald Trump. And another type of government would be federalism, which is the power that is the power is divided between the national government and other governmental units. And to help answer the compelling question of what would the world be like if we all lived under the same government, some supporting questions would be like, which government has proven to be the most effective and is the most commonly used right now? I think ours, the U.S., the democratic government. Personally, I think that is a really good government because the U.S., when they became free from British rule, the U.S. they weren't perfect. Like at first we didn't have like a good functional government, but we slowly became the most powerful country in the world. The US is the number one top powerful country in the world, which I was surprised by that, because usually I thought China would be the most powerful country in the world, but they're the second. But because I thought it would be China because they're the most populated country, but the US is the most powerful country. So that's why I think our government is one of the most successful governments out there, because, well, we're the most powerful country in the world. Another supporting question would be like, how is the US able to form a well-functioning government after they broke off from British rule? So like I stated before, it didn't happen right away, like, oh, we're free from Britain, we can do whatever we want. No, it took some time to form a good government. It took a lot of mistakes, a lot of amendments. That's why we have our amendments. And the third supporting question would be, in what ways do other governments differ from ours? You know how Britain has a monarchy. How is that different from our government? Some featured sources that you can use to help you answer this question would be a picture of the USA Constitution, or an example such as a video of Britain's unwritten acts of parliament, or a document image of the 1982 Constitution of the People's Republic of China. And yeah, well, that's it. That's all there is to know about government. To answer the question, like I said, I would think that the U.S. Democratic capitalist government is one of the best governments out there. But I want to hear your opinion. What government do you think is the best and why? And yeah, thank you for listening.